Dirtfish Rally, friends. End of day one here at the Rally of Portugal. What a day it has been. One of the longest I can remember in a long, long time. Maybe not in terms of kilometres. It was a heck of a day out there. It really was. And do you know what? It threw up plenty to talk about.
It did, but you're right. Thinking about this morning feels like an eternity ago, doesn't it? As we stand here in the service park at around about 9 p.m. our time. But yeah, plenty of drama, not least, I guess, Adrien Fourmaux, who sadly was doing really well, fighting for the lead, but then didn't quite make it through special stage 8. There is a video on that which is above my head right here. We did our best to speak to him and did a good job, I like to think.
We're still uncertain as to what happened.
Yeah.
I suspect we're going to find out something failed, because it just looked
Strange.
relatively innocuous, that step up that he hit. Really bad luck for him.
It's the fact that every single other car, and there were quite a few in this rally, that went in after him, were completely fine.
And before him.
And before him, of course, yeah. Obviously, could he have technically got his line millimetrically different? Of course he could, but it didn't seem sharp enough for that just to go as it did. It didn't look like a driving mistake anyway, I think is the point. But you're right, he's shown plenty of speed in the Hyundai this year, but the fortune just hasn't quite been there. And sadly, it's another case of just what might have been for him.
A bittersweet day for Hyundai, because they will be disappointed. And you know what? They may be a touch concerned, because if it is a component failure, the man who leads going into a rough, long day tomorrow might have something else to think about. Ott Tänak, what a day he's had out there. I think one of his better days for quite some time. Tänak has been quietly going about things out there in a very, very impressive way. He deserves to lead the rally. He's got Ogier not too far behind him, but it was a strong day from Ott Tänak.
It was. He's been consistent, hasn't he? More or less, I think there was a couple of stages where it didn't quite go his way in terms of finding the right setup, but on a day as long as this, the odds of that happening are high.
Yes.
Generally speaking, his speed has been there. He's had the measure of Ogier and the Toyotas, and the second part of that is probably key, because we've seen just how dominant that team has been so far this year. Yes, we're only one day into a 3-day event, but I think there's plenty of positives in Tänak's performance, not just for him, but also for Hyundai.
Yeah, let's say we had a good start to the day. The first 2 stages I was quite happy in the car, but after this we lost a bit that feeling, and let's say the rest of the day was maybe not as great or perfect, but I mean we pushed definitely till the end to at least keep the road position and to have a chance tomorrow to take the fight with Toyota. So.
You and Seb have had lots of great battles in the past. It looks like it could be another one here this weekend.
Not could be, but it is. So.
Ogier was really uncomfortable this morning, and it took him quite some time to find his rhythm out there. Even this evening in the media zone, he seemed a bit distracted. It's not going his way. It is interesting.
Yeah, this morning it was too soft a setup, basically, that kind of caught him out. And as you say, it was strange. We're not used to seeing this from Ogier. He did have the caveat. Go on.
Test. The test was completely different, wasn't it? So he was going to go with a setup that they never guessed setups, but it wasn't a setup tuned in testing, because the testing was so wet.
It's not necessarily one he had tried himself, was it? And he didn't have any experience of Hankook's gravel tyres before this event, because the events he's done before now were all on tarmac. So he had that to learn. But again, even when things weren't perfect, he finds a way.
Of course
He's right there, isn't he?
He's Sébastien Ogier. He is the absolute master. When we talk about tyres, so what? You know, they are the same. The rubber, they go around. If anyone can look after tyres, if anyone can work out what tyres are doing, the tyres speak to Sébastien Ogier. Sébastien Ogier understands their language. And if I was Tänak, I'd be worried.
Yeah, I'm happy. Especially after the difficult start this morning, I'm happy the way we fought the day and the way we managed to stay in touch with the lead and picking up a good start position for tomorrow, as we are still second now. That was the crucial things, it's been a long day for everybody. I mean, you've heard that a lot already. So the sleep will be needed now. But yeah, tomorrow we have a big fight ahead. The fight with Ott, always enjoyable. It's always an intense one, and I know I need to give my best if I want to have a chance.
Third place, it is another one of our Toyotas. It's Takamoto Katsuta. Katsuta was right there after 6 stages. He was just a handful of seconds off the lead, wasn't he, in the 7 stages, the second service?
Might be well be 8.
Might well be. He was right there. It went rapidly backwards in the last few stages. Again, his demeanour changed. His stage end comments were very negative. He was very down on himself. Did we manage to put a finger on what was going wrong for Katsuta at the end of the day?
Confidence, I think.
Just confidence?
Yeah, so the new, well, not all of them, but 2 of the stages in the last loop were new stages. And I think he just didn't quite have, I guess, the best pace notes. And in that position, he already knew he was 3rd place. It wasn't worth overdriving and risking everything, which is great to see, actually, because we know Katsuta's track record hasn't always been the best at making sometimes the best decisions under pressure. So it was a smart move, but he lost about 24 seconds over 3 stages. So it's a lot to drop, and it puts Rovanperä in 4th, just right behind him.
Just behind Katsuta, Kalle Rovanperä. I think he's done a great job out there today. 2nd on the road was always going to be tricky. He did a really good job. Katsuta will be worried, but if Rovanperä gets the bit between the teeth tomorrow, he's one of those drivers that in a single stage can take 8, can take 10 seconds. Doesn't happen that often, but he can do it, and then he's right back in the fight.
Absolutely. I'm struggling to think of much more to say, to be honest. I think the best barometer of Rovanperä's day is where Elfyn Evans finds himself. And yes, Elfyn has it worse as first car on the road, but Rovanperä second, it's the next worse, if that's the best way to word that. Evans down in 7th, Rovanperä up in 4th. So there's been a clear difference, I think, there between the 2 of them. So with all that considered, apart from Tänak, Rovanperä's ahead of all his championship rivals.
And the man directly behind him, Thierry Neuville, in 5th. We are still waiting, I think, for Neuville's season to spark.
Yeah.
To actually, and again, this morning, it was like, goodness me, it is continuing this run of disappointment. That's all I can call it. It is disappointment from Thierry Neuville. We're not seeing that fighting spirit that we've seen previously. Yeah, he's had difficult mornings on a Friday in the past, but he's bounced back with remarkable Friday afternoons. We're just not seeing that. Yes, it was better this afternoon, but he ain't going to win this one. Young Sami Päivärinta, decent day from him. Finished that final stage in front of Elfyn Evans. Now, we know there are no team orders in Toyota, but Päivärinta and Evans are in different teams, effectively.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised, because every position counts, and if Evans wants to battle potentially with Thierry Neuville, that position may have helped him tomorrow. Am I being a bit naive in thinking they may even have considered it?
I don't think you're being naive. I'm torn on this, I'll be honest. Obviously, I think you ask any of the drivers, they all want to do what they can themselves. And you could argue it's round 5 of 14, it's too early to start thinking about championships, and then is asking Samu to slow down for Elfyn, giving him an advantage over, say, Kalle or Sébastien or... But no.
No, I had a bit of a conversation with someone about this yesterday. It's too early to think about team orders until it's too late. Until it's too late, until Ott Tänak throws it off on the last day in Japan. That's too late to start thinking about team orders and telling people you must keep the car on the roads. It's never too early. Never too early.
That's a very, very good point.
Well, what about M Sport Ford, Luke? It was an interesting dynamic, wasn't it? Or it is an interesting dynamic here. You've got Josh McElwain, been here a few times. 4 times we think, is it? 4
Could
times?
be about that, yeah.
4 times. Very little Rally 1 experience. You've got Gregoire Munster, only been here a couple of times, but a lot more Rally 1 experience. How would those 2 factors balance each other out? Well, do you know what? 10 of our 11 stages so far, they balanced out perfectly. They were absolutely tooth and nail with each other with a few seconds between them.
Both are further away from the pace than they want to be, but I agree. As a battle together, it's been really quite fascinating.
It's been fun to watch.
Very, very close. Intriguingly, on the last 2 stages, McElwain found a big jump on Munster on the penultimate one, for Munster to then reverse that on the next.
Absolutely mullered him on the last one.
So it's been really, really intriguing to see that, as you say. We talked about it in the preview, didn't we, about which of these 2 factors would be stronger. I guess the answer right now is inconclusive.
Martin Sesks. Bit unlucky, really a bit unlucky. Picked up a puncture, he said 3 corners in to the opening stage. I don't think that compromised his day at all, because it isn't about final position. It may have helped him in some ways, because it took, if there was any pressure, completely off him. Did Martin Sesks do enough for you out there today?
Good question. There's been some, I don't want to say careless, but this situation on, I can't remember what stage it was, but where he's basically clocked a 3-minute penalty for not quite being ready to start the stages.
That was a bit
It's
odd,
not
wasn't it?
ideal, but in the circumstances, he's already lost like 3
Doesn't
minutes
matter.
with the puncture, so it's irrelevant.
My man of the day is our fourth M Sport driver. Remind me of his name.
Diogo Salvi. Diogo Salvi.
Not Diego, Diogo.
Diogo.
That's quite an unusual name, isn't
I
it?
think it's Portuguese.
Well,
I think it's quite common. I think it's quite common in
What's the wee
Portugal.
flag on the side of his car? What language does he speak?
The co-driver is Spanish, to be fair, so
There
you could have got that wrong.
So Diogo, what an entertaining chap. Doesn't matter that he's a million miles behind with the pace. He has demonstrated to me what we have missed with local drivers, and Diogo demonstrates beautifully what we've missed.
Superb character. I think we caught up with him in the lunchtime media zone, which actually we can take a listen to now. How much fun are you having in the car, though?
Look, like I said, some stages a little bit a pain in the ass, let's put it this way. Other stages, yes, more or less it's fun, but I'm enjoying it. It's so expensive that I really have to enjoy and say hi to the fans.
Well, WRC to the field. 54 WRC 2 cars, or Rally 2 cars out there this weekend. Quite incredible. But there were 3 or 4 drivers at the front that we always assumed would be battling for the win. Oliver Solberg, a lot of people's favourite. He does lead at the end of day 1. But look, it didn't go without, its incidents. This spin slide, goodness me, it could have been catastrophic.
It was wild. As you can see on screen now, he's properly, I think fortunate potentially
Bang!
to get
And
away
it was
with
as long as that. It was as long as that.
So he built up a really good lead over the first few stages. That wiped it out. But then he's had a speed advantage today, so he's managed to build that back up. But as you say, it could still have been very different.
You know, it's always wonderful to see a Volkswagen back out on the stages. And for old people like me, it's wonderful to see a Van Merkstein back out on the stages. And you know, it's the same livery. It's the same purple livery. And it looked the same upside down. What a crash this was.
Yeah, this was a big one. This was a big one. And it's one of those where we have to say this is why rally cars, it was amazing how safe they are. All the safety equipment did its job. He and his co-driver are okay. Which I think when you see this accident, it's incredible to think that's the case. So obviously very, very sad for them, but very, very thankful that everything has worked out okay.
And sad for that poor Volkswagen chassis, the last one. I suspect it's fixable. We'll see it somewhere, I'm sure. Yeah, tomorrow is an equally long day. It's a huge one. Today we are to the southeast of Porto. Tomorrow we head almost due east to some of the legendary Porto stages. It's going to be enormous. There's so much to look out for tomorrow, Luke. But if you want to drive legendary stages, like a legendary driver, what do you need? A legendary rally school. That's what we're all about at Dirtfish. We teach aspiring drivers. We teach anyone. You don't have to be an aspiring driver. We teach anyone at Dirtfish Rally School how to handle a car properly on gravel roads. Takes a bit of tuition. We have the finest tutors. They'll take you in the cars, they'll show you what you have to do, and they will give you the most remarkable experience. Have a look at our website, folks, for all that we do at the world's premier rally school. Look, it's been a great day. Your driver of the day?
Ooh, very quickly. I would say Tänak. It's boring, but Tänak.
My driver of the day was our friend Diogo.
Good shout. I didn't want to say him in case.
Well, just because I just love listening to him, and I'm a man who comes from stage ends, and when we get a stage end maestro like that who paints pictures as he did today, I love it. I really love it. It's been a great day, folks. We've had a lot of fun. It's been a long day. Started in the dark. It's finishing in the dark. It'll start again tomorrow in the dark.
Thanks for the reminder.
We'll see you all tomorrow for what I'm sure will be another fascinating day of gravel action here at Rally Portugal.